Karin.
Hi, I'm Xiaoqi.
Recently, we have done a case study on heavy metals and soils at vegetable areas in Kota Bharu, Kelantan, Malaysia for the subject Environmental Regulations and Management. So, today me and Xiaoqi will try to explain what is about this case study and the actions taken by them and some recommendations that we provided.
Karin, can you explain the background of the research?
The case study is focused on the heavy metals which are copper, zinc and lead in the soil sample of 2 different villages. These heavy metals exhibit toxic effects and give poison to the plants and crops, which can cause an impact on the human health. The study also stated that different types of vegetables have different abilities to absorb the metals. The result shows that the heavy metals concentration level in Kampong Tok Kambing is higher than the Kampong Kubang Edang. Why there are heavy metals exist in these 2 villages? So our problem statement will be on what is the source of heavy metals, what is the relationship between the soil and crops, what are the types of heavy metals contained in the pesticides and fertilizers used among the farmer, how does the heavy metals give impact to human being. Hey Xiaoqi, can you tell me the actions taken in this case study?
Actions taken to solve the problem. The first action is the role of the pesticides. The objective of the registration of pesticides is to ensure that the pesticides offered for sale in the country are good quality and effective for their intended use, and the most important is not cause any harmful effect to the humans and environment. So next, the description on how to get the registration approval of the Pesticides Board was described by these new rules such as Pesticides Act 1974 and Pesticides Legislation Rules 2005. The applicants need to refer the Pesticide Board for the updated listing in the first schedule to check whether the product contains any of the listed active ingredients that need to register or not. So before the pesticide is allowed to be imported, manufactured, sold, and used in the country, the legislation is very important to evaluate and get the approval by the Pesticide Board. So the penalties for those who illegal under the Pesticide Act 1974 are to imprisonment for 10 years or to fine of 100,000 ringgit or more. The second action is the period of harvesting prohibition. So it depends on the half-life of the pesticides. So what is half-life? Half-life of the pesticide is the time taken to reduce half the amount from a certain amount of pesticide. So simple say is the pesticide start to break down from 100% of its original amount, then reduce to 50%, 25% until the amount of remaining is nearly to zero, which means that just only the carbon dioxide, water, and minerals are left. So there are many factors can contribute on how long the pesticide can remain in the environment, such as sunlight, microbes, and water. But all of these factors are mainly to break down the chemical bond. Next is the rotational cultivation technique. It also known as the crop rotation. It is a practice of planting different crops sequentially on the same block of land in consecutive years. So this technique has to design carefully to ensure to improve the soil health, optimize nutrients in the soil, and combat pest and weed pressure. So a situation that a block of soil is using to grow for the same plant at the same place for every year. So the soil will start to deplete the nutrient gradually and highly competitive pest and weed community is selected. So this situation is called monocropping. The monocropping is very depends on the external fertilizer and pesticides use. So many benefits of the rotational cultivation technique, such as improve the soil structure, manage the soil erosion, assess the crop rotation, nutrient cycle, and control pests and disease. Next is the hydroponic method. It is a technique of cultivation of plant in nutrient solution with or without the use of artificial media. So this method has been recognized as a viable option to plant the vegetables and ornamental crops. This method is simple and easy to use as it does not require any cultural operation such as soil fertilization and crop rotation. This method enables a continuous production in a short growing period due to more available oxygen in root area. It also is an indoor growing that can decrease the use of the pesticides as the growing space can be sealed off and hence make natural insect control. Many different types of hydroponic systems are used such as big system, EBB and flow system, drip system, deep water culture system, and nutrient film technique (NFT). Each of them is modified and customized according to the recycling and reuse of nutrient solution and supporting media. So the next action taken is the biological control. When we hear this thing, we can know that it is very safe to the environment because it reducing the pest through the use of natural elements without the usage of chemicals. So a complex system was created where the insects or pests are not eradicated but still in manageable level and balanced within a living and vibrant ecosystem. It is a developing technique which uses natural enemies to maintain the beneficial equilibrium without causing any effects to humans and environment. So there are three types of biological pest control, which is importation, accumulation, and conservation. The biological control agent used as natural enemies such as predators, parasitoid insects, and pathogens. All these are the organisms that can use to reduce the number of pests. So last, physical and mechanical control. Physical control method is a technique to reduce the pests by affecting their environment physically. Physical environment is modified for the pests and hence decrease their threats to the crops. The psychological and behavioral process of the pests are changed by the physical control method, and thermal methods and aromatic radiation are the physical control method. Last, the mechanical control method is use the manual device of the machinery to control or suppress the insect population. That the means such as barriers, fence, or trap is effective in management and control of pests. We have some recommendations are given to minimize the problem.
I want to explain. We have provided three recommendations. The first one is enhancing the knowledge on alternatives and safe use in agroecology. The second one is the relevant authorities should raise awareness among consumers and decision makers about the importance of reducing the use of pesticides. The last one is manufacturer can also change the formulation, packaging, and the use of pesticides.